Okay, I'm going to talk about a collaboration with the Universidad Politécnica Salesiana. I'm going to start right away because you already saw the title. So in the contemporary field of NLP, we already know that transformers have been used to create different kind of models, and there are two predominant architectures. Encoder-only models, which consist of having a transformer encoder we pre-train in some way. Then we have a model that it's useful for natural language understanding tasks. We have as an example, the famous BERT model, right? On the other hand, we have decoder-only models. In this case, we leverage only the transformer decoder. We also can pre-train this model, and then we have a model that is able to generate text. As an example, we have GPT. However, there is a third paradigm, encoder-decoder models. In this case, we leverage the full transformer architecture. We can pre-train this model with denoising objective, and this model is able to solve sequence-to-sequence tasks. Some examples of this kind of architectures are BART and T5. All these models have been trained for any kind of language, of course, English. But these latter ones, BART and T5, are not still available out there in Spanish. So we wanted to fill that gap, basically. So let's start from the beginning. In order to pre-train a model, we need pre-training data. So we use open datasets like OSCAR, MC4, SUC, and Wikipedia Downs. Then we perform a pre-processing step, and we use document level formatting in order to pass to the model's coherent text. Then we filter very short documents were removed. Also, we remove non-Spanish text, but with a certain threshold. And also, we remove some sensitive content. Then we perform deduplication, and finally, encoding correction. As a result, we got pre-trained data that is equivalent to the one that was used to pre-train an English BART. So in this paper, we introduce Barto and T5S. Barto is a BART-based size model, while T5S, it's a T511 base size model. So this T511 is the model that is only focused on self-supervised pre-training. So both models were pre-training quite similar setups. And one interesting thing here is that for both, we use 125 tokens in input, which is usual for Barto, but not for BART, but not for T5. So in order to compare these models and how they perform, we also introduce a benchmark for sequence-to-sequence Spanish models, but also can be used to evaluate any kind of generative model. So this benchmark has abstractive summarization, long-form summarization, question answering, split and rephrase, dialogue, and machine translation. So we also introduce some baselines to compare them. We relied on these bird-to-bird style models, which take pre-trained checkpoints to create sequence-to-sequence models. So we introduce here Beto-to-Beto and Beto-Share. And also we use multilingual sequence-to-sequence models. We use MT5 base and MBART large. This one is only available in large size, but we included anyway for the evaluation. So after fine-tuning the models in a regular way, here we have the results. So we found that the BART25S outperform bird-to-bird style models, and in some cases also multilingual models, and also the large one, the BART. Our models excel especially when processing long sequences and also in question answering. Also, we found that BART works better for dialogue, while T5S is better for simplifying text. For machine translation, this is interesting because we also find that these models are competitive in comparison with the multilingual models. And this is because these models can be fine-tuned directly for machine translation. We use a corpus that the documents have a 90% of accuracy, or get a 98% of accuracy for Spanish language detection, which means that these texts also have has some other languages that are always found alongside the Spanish, like Portuguese and English in this case. So we actually experiment with Spanish to Portuguese and also Spanish to English, and it works quite well. So let's wrap this up. We introduced Barto and T5S. These models were pre-trained from scratch with the Spanish corpus. We introduced a benchmark to evaluate these models, and we found that these models perform better than BERT-style models and also multilingual sequence-to-sequence models, especially for long sequences, and also it can be used for machine translation. And well, the models are available to promote more research and development in Spanish language. Thank you.
I'm interested in the data preprocessing of this. You mentioned a few steps that you made to actually preprocess the data, but I'm wondering if you like do some sort of estimation of the quality of the data, because the quality might vary in this whole data set. I'm not sure if you're like selecting like the most like the data with the highest quality on this data set.
Yeah, we try. That's a very hard exercise to do. So basically in this filtering part, we try to remove also some very noisy data with some very like heuristics, some rules like that. We know that in Spanish we can find some kind of text that could be noisy, so we put those rules there. Also, we remove coding, for instance, HTML, something like that. So we try to do our best in that case, but of course, I think still could be improved. Probably now we know that every time there are new methods that we can leverage to improve better this.
Thank you.